Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now, I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for the collective whole. This is an energy update. I asked the collective energy what this update was going to be about. And what I was told is that we have to begin navigating the storm. Okay. Not too sure what that means. Not too sure. But I will be honest and tell you that as soon as I heard that, I got a little bit nervous. I just got a little bit, just a tiny little bit nervous. I didn't realize, could have sworn I had 100%. Now it's only 50. All right, let me just pull some cards for us. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So a lot of things are coming to light. I'm wondering if the instructions we've been being given as individuals have a lot to do with the events that are happening right now. A lot of the things that over the past how many months we've been encouraged to do over and over and over again. The shadow work, inner child work, the releasing of traumas, the releasing of our need to cling to old ways of being. I'm wondering if the effects of this certain environment we're in right now is really contingent on how much of that work we've done for ourselves. Whew. Energy is surging so much. Can you guys feel that? I don't believe a new world is coming. Do you mean like how people talk about in prophecy and things like that? I don't subscribe to most of that. I only go by what my higher self tries to help me to understand. Yeah, I'm starting to sweat. Starting to sweat is kind of like I've been running. Lots of energy surging. Lots and lots of energy surging. I feel like we're really getting to a point where there are those of us that need to come forward, not necessarily publicly, but come forward and step into this place of divine power where we're going to really assist this process. Okay. Instead of just sitting and waiting for things to unfold, for the details to be placed right in front of us. I'm thinking what soul is trying to tell us right now is that we need to start creating the details. We need to start planning it ourselves, setting intentions and really allowing those intentions to come forward. Okay, final deck. Hold on, guys. Good intentions that benefit everyone, okay? Not just benefit you by yourself. Yes, ringing quite a bit, pressure in the ears. I've been having a lot of like eyeballs rocking. That usually when eyeballs start to sway, that typically for me indicates that timelines are collapsing and merging together. It's like being on a bridge in the middle of an earthquake. Ooh, rocking. That's kind of how it feels. Well, I've never been on a bridge while there's an earthquake, but I would assume that's how the experience would unfold. All right. So let's look at this. Oh. Hold on. I just got to ask. Hold on. Okay. So, right side up. I'm not to read in reverse today. Card number 43, the unexpected. So now we're getting to a point where um, even those who didn't want to believe certain things are kind of being nudged into a space, a conscious space of maybe I need to start questioning. Maybe I need to start really looking at things differently because none of what's being shown, none of what's being shared, reported, all of that makes any kind of sense because really everything is just crazy right now. Nothing really makes sense. Nothing makes sense. And it's okay. It's okay. We're on a voyage together. For those of us who are able to make sense sooner than others, we have to help lift them up. Okay. This was upside down yesterday. It came right side up today. Again, it's really this scenario of swinging wildly from pole to pole, left to right, left to right. Sometimes it swings left to right several times in one day. And it really has a lot to do with how we choose to see the things we're seeing. There's a lot of things being put out there that is very, very scary. Very, very scary. And yes, it will make you feel freaked out. Yes, it needs to be further researched. Let me share with you guys. There was this post going around, like it was all over the place, talking about Israel, baking soda, and lemon water. Okay, how Israel has zero deaths. They're not worried at all. Everybody goes to sleep feeling amazing because they drink this. I'm like, really? Okay, let's go ahead and Google this. There are so many cases, there have been deaths in Israel. So, really, it's this thing of if you are willing to just blindly accept something because it comforts you, it's the same thing as blindly accepting something that feeds your fear. Okay. Before you take anything in as an absolute truth, you have to look into it. You really, really do. You have to look into it. You have to make sure that it's valid, that is, it's accurate. I mean, unless you don't care whether or not you have accurate information, then don't look into it. But the thing is, you have to make sure you understand what you're participating in, okay? You have to make sure you understand. And a lot of really beautiful information is coming forward now, uh, simply because there's so much misinformation being tossed out there that the people who normally would remain quiet are now feeling the need to speak up. Like, for example, and I didn't realize this until recently, actually. You can't change the pH of your body. You can't. You can change the pH of your saliva and your urine, but not your body. So there's this widely accepted thing like if you do this, this, and this, you'll change the pH of your body. You'll turn it more alkaline. You'll this and that. Um, that's not how it works. Got more reading to do. Got more reading to do. Card number 32, tangibility. Make your dreams real. Many of us are experiencing an influx of really intense dreams. Now, just because I say intense dreams doesn't mean they're apocalyptic dreams. All right? They're just really intense. I myself am experiencing quite a bit of really intense dreams. Are there portions of it that are really violent and gory? No, it's usually I'm interacting with other people. The emotion is intense, but I can't identify if the emotion is fear, anger, um, a need to avoid because danger. It's just an intense feeling. I don't know what it's about though. And I can't quite remember. I'll remember for the first minute or so after waking up, but after that, everything's gone. I don't know who was with me. I don't know what happened. And it's just like, huh, what was that about? I don't know. So, really, the influx of dreams has a lot to do with the messages that our soul is giving us. Right now, we're navigating this storm very blind. We're navigating it blindly because of the fact that there is so much misinformation being spread widely. So be careful what you partake in. Be careful in what you allow to be taken in as your truth. All right. And I'm not saying be afraid. I'm saying use discernment. All right. Use discernment. Allow yourself to first feel, does this feel right to me, or does this just make me afraid? Because if it just makes me afraid, what is the point of this? You know? And what makes me afraid is going to be very different than what makes you afraid. Because there's times where I share things and, privately. And to me, it's just kind of like, hey, look at this. Kind of weird, right? Like, what is this? And then whoever receives is like, oh my God. And then I realize, oh, I don't think they think it's just kind of weird. I think I just made them scared, So just think on that a little bit. Card number 25, Kali, liberation. Ooh, things just got real deep real quick. Oh, okay. 2 being the number of change. No, 2 being the number of guidance, 5 being the number of change. When we allow ourselves to be guided to change, we complete a cycle. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 being the number of completion. Kali is not some monster, okay? She is a darker aspect of a goddess. Sometimes when you are dealing with darkness, the most efficient, effective way to address that darkness, to neutralize it, is to bring in something even darker than what you're facing. That's just a fact. Allow something darker to consume the less dark. And that's what Kali was doing. So I think this really speaks of the circumstance that the whole world is facing right now. Allowing something more dark, more intensely dark, to consume the darkness that has been rather prevalent in this world. That's definitely something you're going to need to just sit and think on, because that type of logic, that type of subject matter is very difficult to process. It's one that is very, very difficult for a human brain to wrap itself around, process, and fully digest. It initiates quite a bit of fear, and that fear will bring your attention to certain aspects of this subject matter that will help you to better understand, will help you to better navigate. And really, this is about navigation at this point. This is not about trying to rewrite, trying to change the path. This is about the navigation. I'm not saying that we can't still change the path or rewrite things. I'm saying our focus right now is being directed towards our individual as well as collective attempt to navigate through this shit show. This is a shit show that we're in. It's a legit shit show. I'm not even going to mince words. It's a total shit show. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you right now what I see is a shit show. So card number 24, protection. This is just an acknowledgement of where we all are. We're all kind of just huddled in on ourselves, sitting in our nest, our home, and really just needing to turn inwards, go into ourselves, really allow ourselves to quiet down and allow our higher selves to fly higher, to help guide us through this part of our journey. This is just one part of our journey, you guys. The journey doesn't end here. Anyone preaching, sharing, trying to encourage some kind of apocalyptic thing, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Whatever we go through, it's not the apocalypse. It's not going to be the end of humanity. If we're really going to be raw in our honesty, humanity is like a fucking cockroach. You just can't exterminate us. No matter what group, look at what's happened in our history. Certain groups have tried to exterminate other groups and they've failed. Whatever group was trying to be exterminated has continued to persist. We are like the cockroaches of the earth. Okay, we will continue. We will keep on existing. We will keep on creating social structures that we, for whatever reason, feel benefits us in some way. We will continue to participate in those social structures. So let's release that fear of this is it, this is the apocalypse. Yeah, well, you know what? There's been quite a few apocalypses and we're still here. We're still here and we're still going. We're going to keep going, and it's not going to be something that any one group can ever really change. Because if you think about it, whatever the group is, the new enemy for humanity, because there always has to be some sort of enemy, right? And some sort of hero. Whatever the enemy they try to do, it's still here on this human earth plane. This is 3D existence. The third dimension is very, very low in comparison to how high the consciousness of creator is. Okay? It's very, very low on that scale of power. You're never going to trump. You're never going to outdo the will of soul, much less the will of creation. So just let go of that fear that this is the end, that, you know, there's certain details that, yeah, it gets a little bit scary simply because we don't know what's next. That's the only reason. We don't know what's next, and so it's scary. But once you begin to take active control of your path, okay, because we've gone through an entire phase of like, let go, let go, let go, stop trying to control. I'm talking about taking active control of your human brain, not trying to dictate how this unfolds for you. There's two different things. Those are two different things. Trying to control the outcome is not the same as trying to consciously decide the causation you will participate in to usher in the effect that is a result of that causation. Those are two different things. Okay? So the gateway has been opened. Okay? The gateway in our consciousness, in our lives, it's been opened. It's just waiting for us to walk through it. But we can't walk through it if we don't know that it's open, if we don't know that it's there. And I mean, if you think about horses, how powerful are they? How strong, how fast, how intelligent. Yet you take a piece of leather, you wrap it around its head a couple times, even a piece of rope, wrap it around its neck one time, and then you wrap the other end around a post. And because of their mental programming, they will not leave. They won't. They just won't. I've seen pictures of horses being tethered to a folding chair, and the horse just stands there because it's been conditioned. We are not horses. We are not cattle. We are not chattel. Okay? We're not simply a commodity. We are sentient beings with the ability to discern what the next step will be and the authority to implement that next step for ourselves. So this is something we really, really need to get a hold of, to really allow ourselves to be aware of. Our mental prison is what's making this place hell for each one of us. And once you recognize you've created your own mental prison and you begin to free yourself, those who are not yet willing to free themselves will fight you as you try and free yourself. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. They'll make you question yourself. They'll make you feel as though you're crazy. They'll make you feel as though you think you're above everyone else. Why do you think you can get away with? Well, you know what? What I'm deciding for myself has nothing to do with what you can decide for yourself. You're choosing to continue these things. Just because you choose to continue these things doesn't mean I have to. And that's something you really have to come to terms with. As you free yourself, people will fight you. There's said to be an experiment where they took a bunch of monkeys, put them in a cage with a structure in the middle that apparently rose high enough that there was an opening at the top of the cage. It's a huge enclosure. Opening at the top of the cage where all they had to do was climb up the structure in the center, and they're free. And as people as the monkeys would try and free themselves, the people who were conducting the experiment were hosing the other monkeys, not the ones that were climbing up to free themselves, the other monkeys. And so after a period of time, if the other monkeys saw one of their own attempting to free themselves, they would attack it. That's the type of conditioning humanity has endured, generation after generation after generation. That is the type of conditioning, programming we have right now. And so you have to be aware of that. So when people try and tear you down because you're freeing yourself, you already know this is what they're programmed to do. It's not because I'm bad. It's not because I'm wrong. It's not because they're horrible. This is all they know. And because I know better, I need to help uplift them by continuing to do what I choose for myself instead of allowing them to pull me back into their cycle. Because really, what's the best way for another monkey to learn? By observation. That's it. By observation. That's how they learn. All animals. That's how it is. Okay? So card number 18, Mosaic. Let chance play its creative role in your life. It's time for you to allow this false exterior that you've been programmed to believe is the truth of who and what you are. It's time for you to allow it to be shattered and to be shed away. It's just time. The person you know yourself to be is typically, unless you've done a lot of internal work, it's typically a compilation of all the versions of you that all the people you've ever come across perceive you to be. And their perception of who you are is strictly based on who they need you to be for themselves. I could be an amazingly gentle, loving person, but if the person in front of me needs me to be a villain, that's how they'll see me, no matter how gentle and loving I am. No matter how gentle and loving. If they need a villain and they have assigned me the role of the villain, no matter what I do, that's what I will be for them. So let that sink in. Card number 28, revelation. We're going through spikes of energy, tremendous, tremendous, tremendous spikes of energy. And this energy is really serving to activate quite a bit, activate the remembrance of really important soul information. And as your crown activates, that's going to create activation all the way through your central chakra line, even to your secondary chakras in your hands. It's going to become something quite amazing. So I'm being told to share this with you guys. Notice how it's all electric. There is another very common teaching that goes around talking about raise your vibration, raise your vibration. Some of you have heard me talk about this before. Based on the principles of Keylontic science and Kathara, your oscillation rate dictates the relationship between your vibration and your frequency. Those are two separate things. A higher vibration equals a lower frequency. A lower vibration equals a higher frequency. Frequencies, dimensions, are nothing more than specific bands of frequency, 77% at 738. So dimensions are nothing more than bands of specific frequencies with magnetic repulsion zones that keep them separate. So if you're going to raise your frequency, that means you're obtaining the key pass for higher levels of dimensional consciousness. Okay? When you raise your frequency, you actually become more electric. When you lower your frequency, you become more magnetic, more dense. You're pulling things to you, because what do magnets do? They pull things to themselves. So this is an indicator that we are going to be experiencing an expansion of consciousness and energy, a rise in our frequency, and a quantum leap in our dimensional level of consciousness. We are evolving. That's what it comes down to. If you really want, just in a nutshell, what does that all mean? You're evolving. You're being given the blue light, not the green light, but the blue light. Blue is a part of green. I don't know if you realize what I was saying. So, okay. When you take that consciousness and the ability to vocalize, to receive the message and vocalize the message, and you pair it with your personal power in your, not sacral, your solar plexus, those two shades of blue plus the yellow, the bright, vivid yellow of a expanding solar plexus leads to the green light. It's a go ahead. Okay. Through the heart space, you will evolve. Heart space meaning consciousness, higher level of dimensional consciousness. So card number 20, beauty. It's important for us to be aware of all the components, but to also be able to pull back and recognize those components make a whole, okay? Those components definitely make a whole. If you want to just see that there's flowers and butterflies and, you know, whatever else detailed, you'll miss the fact that this is a phase. This is you blossoming. There's a beauty in your process of becoming a more authentic version of you. There's a beauty in it. The butterfly signifying your transformation. The flowers signifying your blossoming. Lots of beautiful messages if you allow yourself to receive. So, purity. We are trying to reestablish a baseline of purity. Okay? We came into this life pure. I don't care what we are taught about coming in this life as a sinner and this and that. I beg to fucking differ. You will not teach me to worship a God that you say is perfect, but then you say made a mistake when it decided to create each of us. You're either going to choose to believe that God is omnipotent and knows everything that it's doing and has everything planned out and does everything on purpose for intentions we don't know, or you're going to continue to believe that you should worship a God that's flawed, but we're going to turn the other eye for that. You know, you can't do both. You can't do both. So personally, I believe that we came into this life pure. I believe that we are not being punished. We are not sinners. We are not being punished. We are experiencing life in its totality. And the reason it becomes very difficult for us to continue to process this life, to continue to cope, is because of the fact that we have to deal with the discrepancy between what we're being taught and what we know to be truth. So if you just get rid of what you're being taught and really begin to explore, what is this seed of truth that I feel germinating within my heart, within my mind? What is that about? I want to get it directly from source. Just like with gossip, I'm the kind of person, if you're going to tell me gossip about someone else, I'll go to that person. I'm not going to say, hey, you know, so-and-so is saying all this about you. I'm say, hey, you know what? I've been hearing some stuff. I wanted to ask you straight out. What's going on? I heard that blah, blah, blah. Is that true? I'm just saying. Go back to purity. If you really want to know the truth of something, you have to go straight to the source. Okay? We're oftentimes quoting things over and over and over, having no idea what we're quoting. No idea. We have no idea of the history of the author of that quote, yet we're quoting them. We're reiterating. And see, that's the thing about spirituality. No one can really teach you spirituality. Every single one of us has a piece, a component of the things we need to learn, we need to be exposed to trigger the process of remembering. Because all of this information you already have. You're just needing the trigger to bring back that information to your conscious mind. So these individuals who very proudly share with the world, I studied under so and so, and so. Okay, well, that's good. Is that the only person you're studying under? Because if it is, all you're doing is reiterating, regurgitating their interpretation of their own path. That's it. You're not learning absolute truth. 81% at 744. 8. 1 plus 7 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8, 8, 8. Interesting stuff. Vertigo. Ooh, whatever you choose will be correct. You hold the key. Whatever you choose will be correct. All right? Because whatever you choose is actually what your higher self is guiding you to do. There's no right, there's no wrong. There simply is causation and effect. You choose one thing, that has a string that leads to another. And that's what you get. Not necessarily what you get as in, that's what you get. No, that's the end result. So choose carefully, okay? Not out of fear. Choose carefully out of a desire to create the highest potentiality of expansion. Card number 20, alliance. Who are you aligned with? Who and what are you aligned with? Are you aligned with your higher self? Or are you aligned with the perpetuation of a paradigm of control and separation that has existed since humanity was created? Which one are you in alignment with? Which one? And no one can really tell you what you need to be aligned with. No one. Oh, Lord. Do I really have to say that? Okay. I'll just kind of like, I hate when you do that. I hate when you do that. Okay. So it's not my place to keep you from receiving whatever message you're supposed to receive. So I'm going to say a statement, and you are free to interpret that statement however you choose. I encourage you to just kind of, that's interesting. Okay? 3 trumpets have sounded. The ears have already heard. The eyes have already seen, and the energy is rising up to the crown. Okay? So, you don't know what that means? Perfect. Not anything you need to know anyways. All right? So, let's see. Let's pull just a couple more cards. Oh, my. All right. All right. Let me just, okay. So we got 4 of Swords in reverse. Sickness, bad illness, needing to take time out, rest and relaxation is needed here. It's in reverse though. So this tells me there's no sickness. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound very cold, but I'm not a licensed mental health professional. So I encourage the person commenting, I encourage you to please contact someone who is licensed and trained to best assist you. Okay. So 4 of Swords, sickness, bad illness, needing to take time out, rest and relaxation is needed here. So again, since it's in reverse, what this has to do with is this recognition that you are not sick, okay? You are not, You're not allowing yourself to see the gravity of how your thoughts affect your health, your whole being health. And so, what needs to happen is you need to begin really cultivating the type of thoughts that will help you to recognize the truth of your power. Okay. Um, the mind has the ability to rewrite, recode sections of your morphogenetic template. If you continue to allow yourself to participate in the type of cyclical arguments and thinking that really create disharmonic distortions within your energetic field, eventually that does manifest as dis-ease. Okay, that manifests physiological symptom presentation. So as long and this is more complicated than what I'm explaining, but be aware of how your mindset is cultivating your energy, okay? Cultivating your environment. You can't just continue to see everything as so negative and expect positive outcome. And this is globally, um, nationally, personally, on every single level. You have to make sure that you're aware of where your thoughts are leading you. So, Queen of Swords, cold, hard, demanding authority. You can't demand this of yourself, though. This is a process that you have to go through. Um, and it has to be done in a fairly gentle way. Okay. If you're honest with yourself, most of us are very harsh with ourselves. Most of us speak to ourselves in a way we would never speak to other people. Most of us. Okay. And by most of us, I even want to say all of us. Like there's times where I find myself calling myself stupid. And it's like I've never really, like, if someone's struggling, I would be like, are you stupid? No. I only say that when I want to be hurtful intentionally. When I know I'm dealing with a troll and I want to be hurtful intentionally, yeah, I do say that. Hmm. But I wouldn't say that to someone when we're having a real conversation, interaction, when I'm trying to assist, when I see they're struggling. So you have to be aware, if you're harsh with yourself, where has it gotten you so far? Has it helped you? Has it grown you? Or has it greatly interfered with your process of growing? Because if you haven't achieved amazing things for yourself, I'm not just talking about money, okay? I'm talking about a real sense of fulfillment by being harsh. If you haven't achieved a sense of fulfillment by being harsh with yourself, why do you keep being harsh? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome, right? So why are you continuing that cycle if nothing good has come of it? Six of Swords in reverse, boat over water, trouble, turning boat out of troubled waters. Okay. Waters are not going to get calmer until you choose to turn the boat into a different direction. Remember, we're navigating, right? We're navigating. When you navigate, you don't just like willy-nilly, no map, no sense of direction. I mean, if you can't even look at the stars and gauge where you are and where you're heading, where are you really going? For all you know, you could be anchored and sitting in place, going nowhere. For all you know, you could be heading towards a waterfall. You just don't know. If you're too busy focused on, I have to hold this pole. If you're too focused on the job, the technique, and you're not paying attention to the surroundings, you have no idea where you're going. This is about paying attention. This is about moving with intention. Okay. Because many of us, we kind of just decide things and then hopefully it works out. No, not hopefully it works out. 87% at 753. Mirrors. 877. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8778. Mirrors. Okay. So yeah, many of us are too consumed with how it looks Am I doing the technique right? Um, Even with yoga, you see quite a few posts on Instagram about ego versus surrendering to your process and your soul, where you're trying to impress people by, looking as flexible as possible, failing to be aware of the fact that you're not really surrendering into that pose. You're not sinking into it. You're not holding it in the best way possible. So be more aware of where you're headed than you are about the technique you're using to get there. Um, Hierophant in reverse. Official situation. Hold on, guys. There's something else to this card. I don't want to put my glasses back on. Hold on. Oh, it's this one. Vulnerability, unorthodoxy, renunciation. Ooh. So this is a call from soul to walk away from the things that no longer are in alignment with your growth. Okay, that's going to be different for everyone. Um, this is to be done on a personal level as well as the collective whole. So there really needs to be observation. The area where you live, uh, are you in alignment with what's going on? Are you in agreement with how certain things are being handled? If not, then you're going to have to make a decision whether you want to continue to participate in that or not. And I'm not really sure what that means. I'm going to be very honest with you. I want to be very careful not to be misunderstood as or misheard as though I'm trying to encourage or incite unrest, because really, I'm just asking you to think for yourself. All right. So I don't know what that means. I don't know how you resolve that. This is something we each have to decide on our own. So we have Eight of Pentacles in reverse, work, paid work. It's not paid. This is energetic work that's needing to be done, and you're just going to have to do it. You can't set this intention of, if I do this work, then I'm going to get this. No, this is work that needs to be done. It has to be done because it's been put off for so long. You can't keep getting your way. Okay. We can't keep getting our way, where we want an effect, but we're unwilling to choose the causation that leads to that effect. You're not just going to be handed something. There's always an energetic exchange. In order to receive the new energy from new coding, you're going to have to first do the work to release the old energy from the old coding. And that's kind of what's going on in the world right now. We're releasing quite a bit of the old. And this purgative process is very intense. It's a very disconcerting process that we've allowed to be initiated. Okay. So the Death card in reverse. I know many of us don't want to do this work. I know. Hell, I don't want to do this work, but we have to. We have to. Our refusal to participate in our own growth is a surefire way to ensure that growth is the most difficult process ever. So this is about stagnation, slow changes, partial change, inertia, narrowly avoiding a serious accident. We have to do the work so we can avoid worst case scenario. Okay? We have to do the work. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. So, Four of Pentacles, money improvements, more money, more coming your way. I read Pentacles and blips about money as energy. Okay. So, energy improvements, more energy coming your way. So, you know, like I was saying, we have to do this work. And if we do this work, then we create space within our personal fields as well as within the collective whole for new higher frequencies to enter. And that's really the goal for allowing us to, allowing ourselves to really grow with no restrictions. I'm just going to pull a couple more cards for the final message, or actually, yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay. All right. All right. This is just crazy. Card number 25, alone time. We are all needing that alone time so we can get the stillness that's necessary in order to clearly hear the messages from soul. So allow this alone time to really, really benefit you. Okay. Stop being so averse to spending time with yourself. So, card number 43 in reverse, saving humanity. We're not here to save humanity. None of us are here in a Messiah capacity. Okay. And if you want to argue with me about you are here to save humanity, well, good luck with that. I'm going to hold you to that. You better give me a timeline as to when you're going to achieve what. We're here to save ourselves from ourselves. Okay. There's no external boogeyman that we are trying to save ourselves from. We're here to save ourselves from ourselves. And I'll be very, very real and raw right now. If you have the mentality that you're here to save humanity, that's because you're existing in a very high level of avoidance of your own issues. You can't ever save someone else without first saving yourself. Even in an airplane that's crashing, they tell you, first put on your oxygen before you try and help someone else. Okay? First, put on your own oxygen. It's not selfishness. It's really an illusion that you're participating in if you think you're here in a Messiah capacity. And if you think you're here in a Messiah capacity and you're pissed off because I'm being really honest with you, well, then I'm here to let you know you've miserably failed, because we're at the point now where everyone's suffering so badly. So you need to get on your job and save everyone. And people will be like, really, like, oh, that's so abrasive. No, it's real. Stop wasting your time thinking you're so above everyone and you have no problems and you're here to save everybody else. What everyone else needs to be saved from is that kind of mentality. Leave everyone alone. Everyone's working on their own stuff. Everyone has to work on their own stuff. Stop trying to rob people of their opportunity for their growth. It's in the hardest times that you discover how strong you actually are. Every event in my life where I had no choice but to be strong are the events that have helped me to understand the gravity of my strength, the gravity of what I can endure and overcome. And if someone else came and tried to save me from that, they robbed me of that potentiality. So really, leave people alone. If people ask you for help, Perfect. But if you think you're a messiah and you're here to save everyone, don't let me hear about it. Card number 82 in reverse, returning the favor. Yeah, we don't need to return any favors. We really don't. Be the kind of person you'd like other people to be towards you. Okay, be that way towards them. If you don't like it when people are rude to you, don't be rude to other people. When other people are rude to you, say, I'm sorry, this is not how I function. So when you're ready to have a civilized conversation, please do come back. But until then, I'm not participating in this. Okay. I'm not participating in this. And, not to address any person specifically, but I see a comment about heavy messages today. This is a very heavy channel. This is a channel to strengthen you, empower you. I'm not going to give you lightweight messages. I know you can lift heavy. So start lifting, start getting those gains, spiritual gains. Work until you can't work anymore. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. You are not a sissy. You are not weak. Keep lifting that weight. It was placed on your shoulders because your shoulders were designed to carry that kind of weight. I'm not going to coddle people and encourage people to perpetuate their perception of their own weakness. We are so fucking powerful as individuals and as a collective whole. No more of that sugarcoating stuff. No more of that, like, oh, I'm so sorry you feel that. No, why do you feel that way? Did you find out why you feel that way? What happened in your life? Not what was done to you, but what happened in your life that you weren't able to move forward from? Let's look there first. You need me to sit here with you in this hole? Okay. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, people have done you so wrong. No, you're stronger than that. You deserve actual honesty. Sometimes really fucked up shit has to happen for you to understand the gravity of your strength, for you to really learn the lessons your soul is trying to get you to learn. And all of that is contingent on what you decide for yourself. You avoid the lesson intensifies. Your soul, my soul, recruits people to deliver these lessons to us, to help us cultivate the environment that will allow us to learn the lesson. So when people do horrible things to me, are they victimizing? No, my soul recruited your ass because I refuse to learn any other way. Now that I've learned it, your ass can go. I'm not mad at you, but you can go because I don't need you to try and repeat this lesson with me. We're done with that. So we have to really begin pushing the envelope. Okay. We have to push the envelope and allow ourselves to see our existence as more than what we've been seeing it thus far. We have to allow also the masculine principle. There's nothing spiritual about spiritual bypassing. There's nothing spiritually evolved by keeping quiet while someone continues to take advantage and abuse you. Nothing spirit. I don't care what their title is. I don't care who they are to you. There's nothing spiritual about it. Now, does that mean you have to disrespect them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. There are things that are taught culturally where, oh, well, that's your parent. Well, yes, they are my parent. No, they shouldn't treat me that way. Does that mean I'll be like, oh, you're a bit? No, 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 no. My mom's done some pretty crazy shit to me before. Okay, I love her. She's my mom, but no, we're not playing that game, mama. And I tell her that, okay, phone call's done. You're so disrespectful. Well, you took the conversation somewhere I didn't need to go. You can call me later when you're in a better mood. Phone call's done. I'm not going to call you outside of your name. I'm not going to be disrespectful to you. But yeah, no, there's a boundary. You crossed it. So I'm going to just kind of pull everything back. There's nothing spiritually evolved about offering your face to be beat down more. And your face is significant because it's your identity. While you are in this human life, this is you. This is your identity. When your face is struck, your identity is shattered. So this whole teaching of Jesus taught us to offer our other face, our other cheek. I'm pretty sure he turned his cheek to really cock that hand back and get you at his face. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure. So 3 in reverse, change in reverse. Sometimes we have to go backwards in order to go forwards. Okay. Sometimes we have to go backwards in order to go forwards. Change does not equate nothing but a linear forward movement. It's not that. Okay. Card number 47, Lemurian era. The Lemurian era has a lot to do with a return of the feminine principle, a return of that nurturing. Nurturing is more than just coddling. Okay. It's more than just coddling. It's about allowing yourself to really be willing to defend and protect that which you love. You should be on that list of things you love. Okay. You don't have to go to war for everything. But when people are too much and they continuously and very, very consistently trample boundary lines, you have to say or do something. If you can't say something, then do something. Remove yourself from that. You don't have to keep interacting. You don't have to keep allowing. When you don't say anything and you don't do anything, that's giving passive permission. When you give passive permission, it's permission. Permission is permission is permission is permission. Okay? So now we have card number 80 in reverse, embracing family. There's a lot of shifting going on. I believe this has to do with soul family. A lot of us are experiencing reconnections with soul family, and because we're not quite accustomed yet to how soul family feels, some of us has been rejecting soul family. It's my process. It's a part of my process. Card number 40, stubbornness. That's just some shit right there. 40 and 80. So the self returning back to the point of origination, the reunified soul family returning back to the point of origination. Because it's in reverse, Michael's talking shit. He's not talking shit. He's talking truth. I just think the truth is full of shit sometimes. So really, this is about you going through the process of understanding your process, about you being realistic in regards to the things that you've chosen. When you push people away, why are you pushing them away? Is it because you feel the need to protect yourself? 98% at 811. 98811. 88 plus 11 is 99. 999. Nice. So are you pushing soul family away, soul connections away because they're toxic and you're trying to protect your peace? Or are you using that argument as a way to rationalize the behaviors that really are rooted in avoidance due to fear? I will neither confirm nor deny. No, I'm joking. So you have to figure that out for yourself. For some of us, it is because the connection is toxic and you know this, and you know that it's not going to go anywhere productive. For others of us, it's really purely fear-based because you've never been able to connect with others in that way before, and that depth of connection is just very disconcerting. It creates a lot of feelings of you have no control in their presence, and I'm gonna need you to be quiet, Michael. You're disruptive today. Totally lost my train of thought. He was saying something and I lost my train of thought. Yeah. All right, guys, it's time for me to go. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel, turn on that notification bell, and join me every single time I'm live. All righty. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go live again in a few minutes to do zodiac readings. Give me a few minutes. Bye, guys.